Despite all the warning signs, OP refuses to see the writing on the wall. With all the red flags, it's clear that his girlfriend has other plans for her future, but he doesn't want to believe it. OP refuses to see that his girlfriend of 7 years is letting another guy, or a group of guys for that matter, have their filthy way with her.
I'm 27 and my girlfriend's 26, and we've been together for more than 7 years. And for the last 2 years, we've sort of been living in her flat. The flat isn't finished as it's missing a kitchen, wardrobe, and some other things, but we didn't see the point of buying or renting another apartment when she inherited one from her grandmother. I lean towards the more secure attachment type, but my girlfriend often shows serious signs of avoidant attachment. During the summer, she and her friends started spending way too much time together, at least in comparison to the time she was spending with me. I brought this up to her, saying that I have no problem with her spending time with her friends, but I'd like to have some consistency in the time we get to spend together, rather than me wondering where she is, what she's doing, or when we'll be able to do something together. She listened to me, but didn't give any definitive answer as to what we could do about it. And on that same day, she ghosted my texts, so I had to look for her through her relatives. In the end, she came home late at night, and I told her that what she's doing isn't okay. If she wants to hide from everyone, I won't be here for it, as it's happened multiple times before. A week later, during which we had some infrequent communication, she was still spending a lot of time with her friends. She met up with me and started saying that she's depressed and burnt out. You guys will probably recognize this as the "it's not you, it's me" talk. She then offered to break up because she felt like she couldn't be there for me like how I could be there for her. Now, 2 weeks prior to this, she'd gone to a music festival without me, just her and 3 friends, and all of them are single. While they were at the festival, they met a group of guys and ended up spending the 2 days together. I don't think anything happened there though, but this is where our relationship really started to break down. After offering me to break up, which I refused, thinking that I'd never want to leave someone when they're feeling down, I was ready to give her whatever she needed so she could get a full understanding of what was going on. Once she cleared her head, we could get back to talking about us. 2 weeks after this conversation and some infrequent communication, I surprised her by showing up on her doorstep with lunch. She went all out on me about me texting her and letting her know that I'm coming to see her. After that, the communication stopped, and I decided to go no contact for 4 weeks. I went through mental hell during those 4 weeks as everything I'd imagined for us was shattered. I had no idea what happened, but I refused to believe her story about depression or burnout. She had burnout 2 years ago, but during that time, we stayed together and still managed to do stuff. Even though we didn't talk for 4 weeks, I stalked her Snapchat location. I saw her go to the gym, spend time with her friends. But what killed me the most was that I saw her visit the hometown of one of the guys she met as there was another music festival going on there. And to add to all that, she and one of her friends stayed at his place. Through my stalking, I also saw that the guy's friends had come to our flat where we used to live together. I'd seen a random car turn up, and that night, they partied until 5 in the morning. I was so sleepless that I drove by the apartment and all the lights were on, so it seemed like they were having a good time. After those 4 weeks, she messaged me, saying that she's sorry. She said that she wanted to text me a long time ago, but didn't know how to. She owed me some money, and said that if I don't want to speak to her again, it's okay, and she'll just send me the money. I didn't want to lie, so I told her that perhaps we can talk. It ended with me going to hers and talking for several hours. She didn't want me to stay over, but we did conclude that we've had so many amazing moments during our 7-year relationship that it's at least worth talking to see if we can make it work. I talked about all the stuff she put me through and let her know that it'd take quite a bit of effort from her side to regain my trust. I asked about her guy friends, and she said that they were just nice people to spend time with and party. I obviously took that with a heavy pinch of salt. In any case, I understood that if we were going to rebuild what we had, I had to find out the truth. We've never shared our phones, and I didn't have a problem with that because I trusted her. But now she was getting notifications on Snapchat from the guys she met. They had a Snapchat group which involved her, the guys, and 2 of her other girlfriends. I didn't like it, but she insisted that the guys didn't have any intentions with her and that they were just friends. Well, let's fast forward to the next big event. She went to a party with her best friend, and when I asked if it was just the two of them going, she ignored my message. Later on, I found out that they went to party with the guys again, but I didn't worry so much about them this time as she was kind of replying to me after that. We spent some time together and we got plane tickets to go to a place we've wanted to visit for a long time. Before that, though, we went to a wedding and we were supposed to stay there for 2 days. But on the second day, she suddenly had the urge to go home, which was a 5-hour drive. It seemed very weird to me as she made me drop her off at her friend's place, which isn't too far away from the wedding. After that, she told me to drive home and that she'd come home later with her friend. Of course, she didn't come home that day, and in fact went to a birthday party that was being hosted by one of the guys. She stayed there for the night and came home late the next evening. I didn't meet her for a few days, and to be honest, we barely spoke. Nevertheless, we had a vacation planned, and in the end, it was a pretty amazing week. When we got back home, she started slowly distancing herself from the relationship. Her mood got worse, and she didn't want to meet up or have me over at her place. She practically never messaged me first, and one weekend I asked if she wanted to meet up after work, and she said that her mom was visiting. Since I knew that she had lied previously, I went to her house to check, and guess what I saw? A guy's car parked up next to my girlfriend's. Apparently, there were at least 2 to 4 guys partying at her house, and when I went up to the flat doors, I heard them dancing, listening to loud music, and drinking. I didn't stay for long, but I was completely shattered. The next day, I went to her house while she wasn't home, and she had beer and wine bottles lying around and candles set up around her bed. We met up the next morning because of an emergency, and I managed to ask her what she was doing, and she told me that the guys had come over at late notice. I told her that I really didn't like the situation she put me in, and would rather have had her do something about it. Obviously, she didn't do anything, and over the next 2 weekends, she went to a birthday party and a name party with the guys. On both occasions, she stayed over with them, but when questioned about it, she lied. I even drove to the guy's home to make sure I was right, and I was. My trust is long gone for sure, and I don't know how we can repair this relationship. She doesn't seem to be interested in doing anything to save us, and she's still talking about how she feels depressed. She fails to realize that by her lying, she's destroyed my ability to believe anything that she's saying. The story about her depression just seems to be her way of getting me to stop snooping and uncovering more lies. Right now, we're in a place where if I don't text her, she won't text me. We can go on for a week without talking, and she can ignore my messages, then tell me that she doesn't want to talk. She told me that she doesn't want to break up, that she loves me a lot and has had no intimacy with any of the guys. But she understands if I want to break up with her because of all the bad situations she's put me in. In all honesty, though, I think this is her way of trying to make me break up with her so that I look like the bad guy, despite her lying and breaking my boundaries numerous times. I also suspect some narcissism on her side. I'm not too educated on this, but I see signs of this in our relationship. I have no idea how the future looks for us, but I'm 95% sure that we're going to break up. I would really love to know the truth. Did she cheat on me or not? If the slim chance of her bad mental health playing a role in this was true, I would forever regret breaking up with her while she was struggling. I had the best memories with her prior to this, and would do anything to get back to where we were. I did tell her that if she lies one more time, that's it for me because I can't take it anymore. The pain is intolerable. My heart aches when I see her meeting up with those guys so often, always wondering what she's doing. All the lying started when she met these guys, so should I continue trying to find out what really happened?
This story was almost comical. Anybody listening to or reading this story would come to the conclusion that OP's partner 100% cheated on him. There are so many glaring red flags in this story that it's not even worth pointing them out. OP seems so desperate to keep this woman in his life that he's ready to put up with anything. That said, there was an update to this story which we will go through after checking out some of the comments.
Not Scruffy Nerf Herder says, her bed was surrounded by candles. She wasn't doing a seance to recall the dead, she was getting nailed to the bed. This was a romantic gesture, planned out, not the drunk spur of the moment dalliance that she'll trickle truth to you. She's caught feelings. She left your wedding date to get railed by her new guy. Mono Elm says, she literally tried to break up with you, but you just wouldn't accept it. I mean, she spelled it out for you and you can't figure out why things are off. Yeah, it sucks that a long-term relationship has ended, but that's what's happened. It's ended. What's the point of being with someone who you don't talk to for weeks at a time? That's not even a relationship. The only thing you're holding on to is a memory. She tried to tell you. You just wouldn't listen.
These Redditors are spot on. This girl's been trying to escape from this relationship for ages, but OP refuses to see it. Anyway, let's get into his update.
Over the last weekend, I saw that she spent 3 days at her bestie's house with one of the guys. I took 2 of my friends to wait outside late last night and saw her and a guy go to her car. He sat in the driver's seat and they drove to his place, which is in another town, 1 hour away. We were following them because I wanted to catch her red-handed, just so she knows that I know. They stopped at a gas station and the dude went inside for water. I hopped out of the car, which was on the other side of the station, and took one of my friends with me. She was there, sitting alone in the car, waiting for him. I went up to her window, opened her door, and said, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" As much self-control as I thought I had when I saw the guy, some kind of animal rage and unstoppable emotions took over me. I told him to come to me and he asked why, then proceeded to enter the car. I started running around the car to pull him out and beat him up, but my friend stopped me and said it's not worth it, then took me away from them. Without wasting any time, the guy quickly drove off. The look on his face was priceless. The dude pooped himself for sure while she was just like, "I'm just taking him home." Honestly, it's kind of his fault if he got beaten up. The dude knew she was in a relationship, so he should have had the dignity to walk away from her. Now he's going to go through the same narcissistic abuse that I went through. And funnily enough, the dude had a 9-year relationship before, and was cheated on by his girlfriend who did it with 4 dudes at the same time. The odds of this are crazy. After all this went down, I went to her place and threw my keys in her mailbox. I told all my friends to unfollow her on social media, and that the relationship is over because of her cheating and the disrespect she's shown. As this is pretty fresh, I'm feeling a little weird, but feelings change from being sad, to being at peace, to being happy, and I just bought concert tickets to an artist that I've been wanting to see for a long time. I'm looking forward to the future, and finally I don't have to worry about where she is, who she's with, what she's doing, why she hasn't replied, and all the other stuff that narcissists put you through.
Wanting to fight the guy who was sleeping with his partner is a waste of time. By doing God knows what with this guy, she'd already made her choice, so fighting with him won't do anything besides potentially landing OP in trouble. While I understand the need of OP wanting to know the truth, once he got it, he should have made a quiet and firm exit. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.